People brought non-perishable food items. The number of families served at the Empowerment Center has quadrupled. And with the potential of suspension of SNAP benefits, more families will more than likely turn to the YWCA for help.
Canned food is boring until the fridge betrays you. Then suddenly that dusty can of soup starts looking like a financial advisor. That is the problem. Most people ignore the canned aisle when life is normal, then rush back when prices jump, storms hit, fresh food spoils, or dinner needs to happen with almost nothing in the kitchen. By July 2026, some pantry basics may feel a lot smarter to own than to chase. Today, we are counting down 11 canned foods you may regret not buying before July 2026. Number 1 is the can people mock until the night it saves dinner. Number 11. Canned corn. Canned corn sounds too ordinary to worry about. That is why people forget it. Then summer arrives, cookouts start, kids are home more often, side dishes disappear faster, and suddenly one cheap can of corn becomes more useful than half the expensive things in the fridge. Canned corn is not exciting, but it is reliable. It can go into rice, tacos, chili, salads, casseroles, soups, cornbread, pasta, wraps, and quick side dishes when the main meal looks lonely. It brings sweetness, color, and texture without asking you to chop, peel, boil, or pray that fresh produce still looks alive. That matters before July because summer cooking can get expensive quickly. Fresh corn is great, but it is not always cheap, convenient, or available when you need it. Canned corn sits quietly in the pantry until the day a meal needs stretching. This is exactly the kind of cheap meal stretcher people ignore until summer meals, cookouts, and higher grocery bills make every side dish feel more expensive. The mistake is thinking canned corn is only a side dish. It is a meal extender. One can make taco meat stretch farther. It can make soup feel fuller. It can turn leftover rice into something that looks planned. It can make a sad salad look like someone tried. Look for low sodium if you are watching salt, and rinse regular corn if you want it milder. Store a few cans and rotate them. This is not about filling a bunker. It is about having one easy ingredient that rescues meals without begging for attention. The other thing people forget is how fast canned corn changes flavor. Add chili powder and lime, and it helps taco night. Add butter and black pepper, and it becomes a quick side. Add it to beans and rice, and the bowl looks more generous. Canned corn is the can people ignore until the plate needs help. The next one is more serious, because it can replace fresh produce when the price of green vegetables starts insulting your budget. Number 10. Canned green beans. Canned green beans have been disrespected for years. Some of that is fair. If they are boiled into sadness, they taste like punishment. But used properly, they still earn a place in the pantry. The reason is simple. They are cheap, shelf-stable, easy to season, and useful when fresh vegetables are expensive, unavailable, or forgotten in the fridge until they become a science experiment. Before July 2026, that matters. Fresh produce can be one of the first grocery categories that makes shoppers uncomfortable. When people start buying fewer fresh vegetables because the cost feels too high, canned vegetables become more important, not less. By July, when fresh produce can be inconsistent, pricey, or wasted before you use it, canned green beans become less boring and more useful. Canned green beans are not trying to beat perfect fresh green beans from a summer market. That is the wrong fight. They are trying to beat having no vegetable at all when dinner is late and everyone is hungry. Drain them, rinse them, warm them with garlic, pepper, onion powder, butter, olive oil, broth, or a little bacon if that is how your house eats. Add them to casseroles, quick skillet meals, soups, or rice plates. This is the kind of food that keeps a pantry useful. A can of green beans can sit there for months, then suddenly help you avoid another grocery run. It gives you a vegetable when the fridge has betrayed you. This is also why canned green beans matter in emergency planning. If the power goes out and frozen vegetables become questionable, canned vegetables still give you something usable. They are already cooked, easy to heat, and safe to store until opened. That kind of reliability is not glamorous, but it becomes valuable fast when the week stops going normally. If you have ever opened the fridge and found nothing but condiments and regret, Hit the subscribe button now because the next can is where cheap pantry food starts becoming real dinner. Number 9. Canned black beans. Canned black beans may be one of the smartest cans you can buy before July. They are cheap protein, cheap fiber, and cheap meal insurance. That combination matters when grocery prices keep making people rethink what goes into the cart. Meat can get expensive. Takeout is worse. Even simple dinners can start feeling overpriced when every ingredient wants attention. Canned black beans calm all of that down. They can become tacos, burrito bowls, soups, nachos, salads, rice plates, quesadillas, burgers, dips, or a side dish that actually feels filling. They work with eggs in the morning, rice at lunch, and chicken at dinner. They also help stretch more expensive ingredients. That is the secret. A pound of meat plus beans feeds more people than meat alone. A bowl of rice plus beans feels like a meal instead of a side. A can of black beans can turn random leftovers into something that looks intentional. This is the can you regret not buying when meat prices make dinner feel dramatic. And the cheapest filling option is suddenly the one everyone else remembered too. Black beans also work because they do not demand meat to taste good. Add cumin, garlic, onion, and a little acid, and the can suddenly feels like it belongs in a restaurant bowl. That matters when people are trying to spend less without making dinner feel like punishment. The best pantry foods are flexible, and black beans are almost annoyingly flexible. They can go spicy, smoky, plain, Mexican style, Caribbean style, or salad style. Drain and rinse them if you want a cleaner taste. Keep the liquid if you are building a soup or stew and want body. Buy more than one can. One can is an ingredient. 3 or 4 cans are a dinner plan. Canned black beans are where the pantry starts getting stronger. The next can does the same thing, but with a softer flavor that works in even more meals than people realize. Number 8. Canned chickpeas. Canned chickpeas are the can people buy for hummus, and then forget they can do almost everything else. That is a mistake. Chickpeas are one of the most useful canned foods to have before summer because they work cold, warm, mashed, roasted, blended, or tossed straight into a meal. They are filling, mild, and easy to season. That makes them perfect for hot weather. When July is close and nobody wants to cook a heavy dinner, chickpeas can become a cold salad with cucumber, tomato, onion, lemon, and olive oil. They can go into wraps. They can be mashed with mayo or yogurt for a quick sandwich filling. They can be stirred into curry, soup, pasta, or grain bowls. This is the can you will wish you had when hot weather makes cooking feel annoying and fresh groceries start spoiling faster. They also help people reduce meat without making dinner feel empty. That matters because saving money on groceries often means finding cheaper ways to feel full. Chickpeas do that without feeling like a sad compromise. Dry chickpeas are cheaper, but they take planning. Canned chickpeas are already cooked. When it is hot, busy, or expensive to keep shopping, ready-to-use food matters. You can drain them, rinse them, season them, and turn them into lunch in 5 minutes. They are also one of the easiest cans to turn into a no-cook meal. A bowl of chickpeas, vegetables, dressing, and bread can become dinner without making the house feel worse. That is pantry power. Chickpeas are not loud. They do not scream for attention from the shelf. But they quietly solve the problem that ruins many meals. There is not enough substance. A few cans mean you can make salads heartier, soups thicker, and snacks better without waiting for anything to soak overnight. Black beans bring boldness. Chickpeas bring flexibility. The next can brings comfort, and it may be the one you reach for when fresh meat feels like a luxury. Number 7. Canned chicken. Canned chicken is not the prettiest food in the pantry. That is why some people avoid it. Then one day they need quick protein, the fresh chicken is expensive, the freezer is empty, and dinner has 30 minutes to exist. Suddenly, canned chicken stops looking weird and starts looking like a backup plan with a lid. That is why I would buy it before July. Canned chicken is already cooked. It can become chicken salad, quesadillas, soup, pasta, casseroles, wraps, buffalo chicken dip, rice bowls, or a quick sandwich filling. It is not meant to replace a perfectly roasted chicken. It is meant to replace panic. That distinction matters. People judge canned food too harshly when they compare it to the best version of fresh food. The real comparison is not canned chicken versus grilled chicken from a perfect Sunday meal. The real comparison is canned chicken versus ordering delivery because you have nothing ready. In that fight, canned chicken wins more often than people admit. This is the can you regret skipping when July gets busy, chicken prices feel rude, and every fast meal suddenly depends on something that should have already been in the cabinet. Look for cans with simple ingredients if that matters to you. Drain it well, break it up, season it properly. Add sauce, spices, acid, herbs, or something crunchy. Canned chicken needs help, but it accepts help very well. It also stretches meals. Add it to noodles, rice, beans, or vegetables, and suddenly dinner feels complete. For emergency shelves, storm season, busy weeks, or tight budgets, canned chicken is one of those foods you do not appreciate until the day it saves you. Before we go on, click the like button right now if you want grocery warnings before the useful pantry foods become expensive or hard to find, because the next cans are where shelf-stable protein starts getting even more valuable. Number 6. Canned salmon. Canned salmon is one of the canned foods people may seriously regret ignoring before July. It is not always cheap, but it is valuable. Seafood prices can be unpredictable, and fish is one of those categories where shoppers notice increases quickly. Fresh salmon is expensive. Frozen salmon still costs money. Restaurant salmon can feel ridiculous. Canned salmon gives you a shelf-stable way to keep seafood in your diet without depending on the fresh fish counter. That is the appeal. Canned salmon can become salmon patties, salads, rice bowls, pasta, sandwiches, wraps, spreads, and quick protein plates. It brings flavor, protein, and omega-3 fats in a form that can sit in the pantry. That is hard to beat. Some people avoid canned salmon because of the bones and skin in certain varieties. Boneless and skinless versions exist, though they often cost more. Traditional canned salmon may include soft edible bones, which can add calcium, but texture preferences matter. Buy the version your family will actually eat. That is the rule with all pantry food. Do not buy the imaginary version of yourself. Buy what the real people in your house will open. Canned salmon is especially useful because it can turn cheap ingredients into a better meal. Rice and salmon, pasta and salmon, crackers and salmon salad, potatoes and salmon patties. The can does not need much to become dinner. Before July, when people are thinking about summer meals, storms, budgets, and fewer grocery trips, canned salmon deserves a spot. Fresh fish has a short clock. Canned salmon gives you more time. That difference can save money because the most expensive food in the kitchen is the food you throw away. Canned salmon brings seafood strength. The next can is smaller, cheaper, and more controversial, but it may be the best emergency protein hiding in plain sight. Number 5. Canned sardines. Canned sardines are the food people mock until someone else quietly gets the nutrition bargain. That is the truth. They are not glamorous. They smell strong. They look intimidating if you did not grow up eating them. Some people see the tin and immediately decide they are not that hungry. That reaction is exactly why sardines remain underrated. Canned sardines are shelf-stable, protein-rich, full of omega-3 fats, and usually cheaper than many other seafood options. They can sit in the pantry until you need a fast lunch, a quick snack, or a no-cook protein when the kitchen is too hot. That matters before July. Hot weather changes how people eat. Heavy cooking becomes less appealing. Fresh seafood can get expensive. Power outages and storm planning become real in some areas. A tin of sardines does not care about any of that. It is ready. Eat them on toast, crackers, rice, salad, pasta, or straight from the tin if you are already converted. Add lemon, hot sauce, mustard, onions, herbs, or pickles. Strong foods often need strong partners. The biggest mistake is buying a random tin and judging the whole category. Sardines in olive oil are different from sardines in water. Sardines in tomato sauce are different from smoked sardines. Quality varies, and so do personal tastes. Start with 1 or 2 styles before stocking up. Sardines also solve the "I need protein right now" problem better than many foods. There is no thawing, no cooking, and no pan to wash. In summer, that convenience matters. A tin, some crackers, and something sharp like lemon or pickles can become a full lunch faster than delivery can arrive. If you like them, sardines become pantry gold. They are compact, filling, and useful when the fridge is empty. Canned salmon feels respectable. Sardines feel suspicious until they prove themselves. The next can is the opposite. Everyone knows it, but many people still fail to stock enough before prices or supply get annoying. Number 4. Canned tuna. Canned tuna is the pantry classic people only respect when they run out. That is why it ranks high. It is easy protein, no cooking required, and it works in sandwiches, salads, pasta, rice bowls, casseroles, wraps, melts, and quick snacks. When groceries are expensive, canned tuna can stop a lunch from becoming takeout. Before July 2026, tuna is the kind of item I would rather buy slowly than panic buy later. Seafood markets can shift. Import costs, fuel, demand, and supply changes can all affect prices. Even when tuna is available, the cheapest cans may not stay as cheap as people expect. Tuna also stores well in small spaces. That matters for apartments, dorms, small kitchens, and anyone without a giant pantry. A few cans can sit behind other groceries and still be ready when the week gets expensive. That does not mean you need a wall of tuna. It means keeping enough on hand to avoid paying whatever price appears when you suddenly need it. The regret comes later, when the cheap multi-pack is gone, the single cans cost more, and lunch suddenly becomes a delivery decision again. The other reason is summer. Tuna salad is a hot weather meal. It does not require heating the kitchen. It works with crackers, lettuce, bread, pasta, cucumber, or rice. It is fast when kids are home, work is busy, or dinner is not happening. Choose the style your household uses. Chunk light is usually cheaper and often lower in mercury than some white tuna options, while albacore has a firmer texture and milder flavor. Follow health guidance if you eat tuna often, especially for children or pregnant people. The point is not to eat tuna every day. The point is to have one of the most useful emergency proteins ready before you need it. Canned tuna is famous for a reason. The next can is famous too, but it is not protein. It is the ingredient that makes cheap food taste like actual cooking. Number 3. Canned tomatoes. Canned tomatoes are not exciting until you realize how many meals collapse without them. Pasta sauce, chili, soup, stew, curry, shakshuka, salsa, rice dishes, braised beans, casseroles, tomato gravy. One can become the base of dinner. That is why canned tomatoes belong near the top. They are not just vegetables in a can, they are meal structure. Before July, they are especially worth buying because tomato prices and processing markets can shift. And pantry tomatoes are one of the easiest ways to protect yourself from fresh produce swings. Fresh tomatoes can be expensive, watery, out of season, or gone bad before you use them. Canned tomatoes are ready when dinner needs a backbone. This is not the can you buy after the shelves get thin. This is the can you buy while everyone else is still ignoring how many dinners depend on it. There are different types, and each one matters. Whole peeled tomatoes are flexible. Crushed tomatoes make sauce fast. Diced tomatoes work in chili and soups. Tomato paste is small but powerful. Tomato sauce is convenient when you do not want to build from scratch. The mistake is buying only one kind. A smart pantry has a mix. A few cans of diced, a few crushed, some tomato paste, maybe whole peeled if you cook more from scratch. That gives you options. Tomato paste deserves special attention because it is small but powerful. One little can deepen soup, thicken sauce, boost beans, or make a cheap stew taste like it cooked longer than it did. If you only stock diced tomatoes, you miss one of the most useful flavor shortcuts in the canned aisle. Canned tomatoes also make cheap ingredients feel richer. Beans taste better with tomato. Rice tastes better with tomato. Pasta becomes dinner. Frozen vegetables become soup. Leftover meat becomes sauce. You do not miss canned tomatoes when everything is going well. You miss them when you have pasta, onion, garlic, and no sauce. At that moment, one can feels like a rescue mission. That is why canned tomatoes belong near the top. They do not just support recipes. They rescue the kind of cheap, tired ingredients people already have at home and turn them into something that feels like dinner. Canned tomatoes build dinner from the bottom. The next can makes that dinner creamy, rich, and surprisingly expensive to replace when you need it suddenly. Number 2. Canned coconut milk. Canned coconut milk is one of those pantry items people forget until the recipe is already halfway started. Then it becomes urgent. Coconut milk is not just for one type of cooking. It can make curry, soup, rice, beans, desserts, smoothies, sauces, stews, oatmeal, and dairy-free meals feel richer. It brings fat, body, and flavor in a shelf-stable can. That is why it deserves a high spot before July. Summer cooking often pushes people toward faster meals, global flavors, and dairy-free options. Coconut milk fits all of that. It can turn a cheap pot of vegetables into curry. It can make lentils feel creamy. It can make rice taste special. It can help people who avoid dairy still make comforting food. Waiting until the recipe needs it is the mistake, because coconut milk is one of those cans that feels cheap until the price jumps or the shelf is empty. Coconut products can be affected by global supply, shipping, weather, and import costs. Prices vary a lot by brand and store. If your household uses coconut milk, buying a few cans when the price is good is smarter than waiting until you need it that night. There is also a quality difference. Full-fat coconut milk is better for rich dishes. Light coconut milk is thinner. Coconut cream is heavier. Some cans separate naturally, which is normal. Shake the can or stir it after opening, depending on the recipe. Do not buy only one can. One can disappears into a curry very quickly. Canned coconut milk is pantry luxury. It makes cheap food taste more expensive. It also helps you cook without depending on cream, cheese, or takeout. Coconut milk is also helpful when other fats get expensive. A can replace cream in many dishes, add richness without meat, and make vegetables feel like the main event. That is why shoppers regret not having it. The final canned food is not fancy, but it is the one that can turn the most boring pantry into actual meals. Number 1. Canned soup. Canned soup takes number 1 because it is not just food. It is a backup plan. That may sound too simple, but simple is exactly why it matters. Canned soup can be lunch, dinner, a sick day meal, a storm meal, a starter for casseroles, a sauce shortcut, or the thing you open when cooking sounds impossible. People underestimate that. They think canned soup is boring until the day everyone is tired, the fridge is empty, and 1 can plus toast suddenly feels like survival. Before July 2026, canned soup is worth buying because it covers more situations than almost anything else on this list. Summer storms, busy weeks, kids home from school, elderly relatives, sick days, tight budgets, unexpected guests, power interruptions, short lunches, late nights. A can of soup does not judge you. It just waits. That is why it earns the top spot. When July gets busy, hot, stormy, or expensive, soup is the kind of can people suddenly stop laughing at. It may look boring, but on the wrong night, it becomes the easiest decision. This is the can people laugh at until July brings storms, busy weeks, higher prices, and nights when nobody has energy to cook. There are 2 kinds worth thinking about. Ready-to-eat soups are convenient because they need little help. Condensed soups are more flexible because they can become casseroles, sauces, pot pies, slow cooker meals, and creamy bases. Tomato soup can pair with grilled cheese. Chicken noodle can rescue a sick day. Cream soups can turn leftovers into dinner. Bean soups can be filling without much extra work. The trick is buying soups you actually eat. A pantry full of flavors nobody likes is not preparation. It is clutter with expiration dates. Watch sodium if you need to. Buy low-sodium versions when they taste good enough. Add frozen vegetables, rice, beans, pasta, chicken, herbs, or hot sauce to make basic soup feel less basic. Soup also helps people avoid the most expensive sentence in the house. Let's just order something. One can may not look impressive, but it can stop a $30 delivery order from happening on a tired night. That is real savings, not theoretical savings. The real lesson is simple. Do not wait until prices, storms, empty shelves, or a bad week remind you why canned food matters. The regret is not dramatic at first. It shows up quietly when the easy can you skipped becomes the exact thing that would have saved money, time, and another rushed trip to the store. Buy slowly. Buy what you use. Rotate the pantry. Then when July arrives, you are not panic shopping. You are just opening the cabinet. Drop a comment with the canned food you always keep at home. Click the video on the left if you want to see the pantry foods shoppers are stocking up on next. If you want simple grocery tips that save money before shelves get frustrating, hit subscribe. I will see you in the next one.